What is the purpose of a prison? What are the images that spring to your mind when I say the word prison? What activities do you imagine? Is there a certain kind of person that you imagine belonging there? Is a prison more for punishment or for rehabilitation? His Majesty's Prison Service, or the HMPS, has a purpose statement that reads, "The HMPS serves the public by keeping in custody those committed by the courts, looking after them with humanity, and helping them lead law-abiding and useful lives in custody and after their release." Is the focus in that statement more on the punishment or on the rehabilitation? We spoke to a couple of people who work in prison rehabilitation who certainly don't believe that locking someone up does anything for them. There are many prisons in the UK today that employ occupational therapy programs that encourage inmates to engage in the arts and give them the tools to do so. These programs offer a rare opportunity for true learning and self-reflection. But what are their limits? What hope is there for incarcerated people to improve their lives? And who are the people who give them that hope? How much do you sort of feel like a therapist?
It's a lot more like a therapist. Just got to remember that they are in jail and things do happen on the outside. So, for example, I've had one guy come in, they've lost a relative 2 months ago and they didn't even know about it because that message didn't even get to them. So he just sat at a computer and just continued working, and you can just see how unfocused and distracted he was away from that. And that sort of 3-hour session that he's in there, he's not thinking about it, and it's just helping them, go through that process of emotions about losing someone. It's a de-stress almost in a way.
Yeah.
It helps rehabilitate, I would say.
Do you think music does that same thing for you as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people who create music, it's quite therapeutic for them. It's quite, it really opens up an intimate part of themselves that they might not talk about other than through music. It's very therapeutic for people listening as well.
What kind of opportunities do you have before this to kind of, express yourself through music?
None, not really, nothing still. Just listen to music in my ear, I just wrote some stuff in my notes, and then when opportunity came, just went for it. Heard some things, seen some things, just don't ever want to go back.
Yeah. But it's a good outlet for you, the music.
Yeah. Because where else am I going to expect, let it out in it?
If you really make music in a good way, it will change your life. It will transform your life. It will give you an opportunity to express yourself. I'm a freelancer, music producer, musician, and for the last 15 or so, maybe it's like 15 to 20 years, I've been working much more in the community than the music industry. It wasn't even a conscious decision for me to do it. It kind of found me, and people asked me because they knew who I was as a music producer and a guy that was kind of active in the local community. So they kind of found me and said, "Oh, can you come and talk to these kids, or can you come and do this and do that?" And then gradually, I felt less comfortable trying to do this commercial kind of music thing and make money out of making music. I'd rather just play music, but I found another purpose for music, which I think is a more honourable thing.
Have you been impacted by some of the stuff that your guys have made in those sessions?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, I can never understand what they're going through. You can only empathise with them. There's no way that an average person will be able to understand what these people are going through.
When you go through something, you have a first-hand experience of it, you're not just talking from someone else's eyes or their stories, it's your own thing, your own experiences. You couldn't tell me how it was to be inside, or hearing someone just banging their head against the wall because they're going through something mental as well.
But for the young guys who come in here, do you feel a sense of relief from them?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's a professional kind of environment. It's safe. They don't want to, you know, a lot of them don't want to find trouble. They just, you know, it's more like, yeah, if trouble finds me, I'm ready for it. But so being in a calm environment is really important, where they can just be like, phew, you know, I don't have to, you know what I mean, be worried about these things.
So do you think these programs set people in good stead for once they leave, they'll be able to move on?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's all rehabilitation at the end of the day. It's very much an individualized basis and what the person's been through. We have to remember that we're sowing seeds. People aren't going to be changing in one day. So when you meet them when they're 18 and when they're 30, they are a completely different person, and they might have just matured a lot slower and realized, oh, that stuff that I did when I was 18 is crazy.
The issue with impacting, with evaluating the impact of specifically arts-based projects is that if you're working with somebody who's got these negative layers of life experience built up over, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15 years, it's going to take a minute, you know, a good minute for the impact to really happen.
Have you had contact with people after they've left, or is that not allowed?
So we're not allowed to have contact. I have worked with charities before that do work with people when they step out the gate, especially in the creative industry. And, you know, they sort of keeping that rehabilitation process going, because once you step out the gate, you don't really have much support.
Coming out from being in that environment, like there's some people, their mental health drops and like they're in a dark place, don't know what to do. It's like some people just revert back to what they were doing, or they change, and some people just are stuck where they are.
There is definitely a high number of people who may have not got the help that they've needed to get out. It's a wide variety of issues, and it's not set down to one specific thing.
And if you grow up in chaos, then you become used to chaos. The life in custody is very unpredictable. You can have your activities cancelled on a particular day, or you can have a jail, a legal visit. So we're kind of experts in just dealing with the room and starting something in the room. So, you know, Louis Armstrong, John Coltrane, all these guys that have kind of helped, not just them, but, you know, that's part of my thing, the improvisational environment in teaching and being able to read a room and deliver what that room needs to get it just calm and make everyone feel like, you know, I'm cool in here.
Do you find that sometimes the operational staff like to kind of come into your workspace to chill out, or?
They'll come in when the learners are there, and they'll get engaged, which is actually very nice. You know, they're not there to be some sort of like big authoritative figure, which, I mean, you know, they do need to be 90% of the time, but there's that 10% where it's just, you know, they need to get along with each other. So when they come in and they're like, oh, can I have a listen to what you're doing? And then they give them feedback. It's actually very, very useful in that rehabilitation state. You know, a lot of this stuff that they're making is never going to make it out. And for someone to actually come and hear it, it's just like, wow, someone's actually listened to my music, and it's not just a complete waste of time.
Do you have like a particular goal with the music you're making?
Not really, you know, just like if I'm feeling the type of way, I'll just put a beat on, write down, just go in the studio.
Your friends like what you make?
Yeah. All of them still.
Yeah.
All of them get the exclusives.
You work in the rehabilitation side of things. There is also an attitude that some people have where prison is for punishment and it's for detention.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to those people?
Yes and no. I mean, they are there for a reason. They are prisoners at the end of the day, so they are serving a punishment. But if we don't rehabilitate them, they're just going to go out and commit the same crimes again. You know, if a child has been naughty, you don't just lock them up. You need to tell them what the issue is, how to deal with it, and what the correct way to deal with it was. I mean, they're serving a punishment by losing their freedom, their right to vote, all that kind of stuff, but they need to then come out of prison and actually show that they can actually be part of the community again.
Losing your liberty is punishment enough, you know, and it's scary. A lot of young people, you know, never been away from home or whatever, suddenly you're in a little room behind a 6-inch steel door, and you know, or you're in HMP and you have to go to the toilet in front of your cellmate and all this kind of stuff. It's, you know, it's a very dehumanizing environment.
It's more punishment, actually, because you're just stuck inside there, literally just caged in. I don't get how that's going to help someone out. Like, if they're going through something dark or their mental health's low, the worst thing to do is put them in a box. Cause like, that's just being trapped with your thoughts. I'm just trying to flip my story in a positive way. When you hear it on the beat, it's different to this when someone's speaking to you. When you hear like someone like put a paper or gigs spitting, like, you can see how their story changed. Like, it started off them talking grease, now they're talking about how they're living now and the benefits of everything. That encourages people more to just want to do the positives and less of the negatives. Even when the songs are cool, like it's on a jumpy kind of beat, like no one's gonna just sit down and feel depressed about it. They're gonna get like, you know, like dancing and stuff with it.
Yeah. If there is a big change that you would want to see in the way that prisons are run in the UK, what would that be?
I think consistency is probably the big one, and integrity. You get a lot of things happening in one place where they're getting away with a lot of stuff, and they move to another prison and they start acting out because what they thought they were allowed to do is actually not correct.
I don't think there should be a limit to how much people can visit you as well, because like when birthdays come along and like that, it's like you can't see your whole family. It doesn't feel the same, innit?
I don't expect any government to be able to wave a magic wand. I think what's needed is more community action. We can do good for our communities. There are people living in every community in the country who have resources to be able to make things better for at least one person. And that's how we work, you know, one by one, do something positive for somebody, bring our skills and stuff we've learned in the past, bring that forward to the present and try and put it on the table for you. And if you want to take it and you want to do something good with it, then go ahead. If you can do something good, then that might be one less victim.
SWC, DPD and SAV won't change my ways, and I have no heroes around your state, just black bullies on, no one on, no cape. Shit gets wild and turn like 842 times 2s, always there by ways. Grew up in a southeast London estate where niggas get lost in the games. Clout don't mean shit, my head full of money and never really care about fame. Let me hear that again, from the top.